How's everyone doing today? Dr. C3 here, and we are back with the CPL Week 3 recap. We're going to jump right into things with 2 showdown matches, followed up by the third and final battle, which will be taking place on the actual 3DS. So let's get excited. Now, without further ado, I'm going to present to you the Bad Boys himself versus Ricky, aka Manbender, aka the London Lucarios. And I believe the Bad Boys are starting off the season 0-2 coming into this match, as Manbender is going to be... Oh, I'm sorry. Bad Boys are 1-1. They've got one match out by default, and Manbender, I believe, is also 1-1. Let me just check that this time. Yep, so the Manbenders 1-1 coming into this match. Bad Boys himself also coming in 1-1. So let's check it out and see how interesting this could be. As we see, Manbender's going to lead with Raichu coming out, as Raibombi leads, probably going for the sticky webs. And we do see the sticky webs unfold as Raichu just goes for a solid Volt Switch, doing roughly 21%. That is massive damage. We know it's not scarfed, but that was a heavy hit. Aggron's going to Mega Evolve. We're going to see Raibombi go for the Drain Kiss. Not going to do that much to the Aggron, as Aggron's just incredibly bulky. The Heavy Slam comes out, knocking out Raibombi. However, Raibombi did do its job, setting up those sticky webs. Delphox coming out, going probably for a mean Fire Blast, as Mew's going to come in to take it. Yep, there's a Fire Blast, as Mew looks like it's going to be specially defensive Mew, as it did not do much, but the Shadow Ball comes out. Wow, even tanks the Shadow Ball, as Mew comes up for the Defog, essentially nullifying the previous turns for the Bad Boys. But this Delphox is going to keep wearing down the Mew, as the Mew is packing the Roost. So we do see it's Defog, especially defensive, roosting Mew. So he's going to be able to win out the Stall War had he keep roosting, unless Delphox can get the special defense drops with Shadow Ball. Hasn't gotten one yet, but still always, as Greninja comes out to take the Shadow Ball. Now, just to keep in mind, this is Torrent Greninja, not Protean or Battle Bond, as that's banned in our league. It's Hydro Pump coming out. Lurantis taking the Hydro Pump pretty well. Manbender's scared, switching back out into Mega Aggron to take the Giga Drain. Good plays, solid middle ground plays for both players, as the Stealth Rock comes out, but the Brick Breaks can come out for Lurantis, not doing much for that massive defensive stat that Mega Aggron carries. Delphox eats the Heavy Slam, was able to survive it, as Greninja comes back, probably to eat the Fire Blast again. But, took it not too well though, sitting at 5%, as Delphox hangs on from the U-turn, goes into Mew, as he predicts and goes for the Shadow Ball. Probably the hardest hitting move that he was going to have. And it's going to do enough to Mew to knock him down to 25%, but he is going to roost back up, so we see this Delphox just hanging in there, throwing Shadow Balls. So Mew's going to try and get back up to full and potentially switch out again. Maybe. Oh, we do just see the Dazzling Gleam coming out, so the first offensive move coming from Mew, Dazzling Gleam. Now that we saw Absol come out, he knows that Mew's specially defensive. So Absol's going to go for a mean knockoff. But the Cobra Berry is sitting on Mew specifically for this Absol, as Dazzling Gleam comes out, not going to be able to knock out the Mew. Or knock out the Absol as a foul play. That was a very interesting play coming from the Bad Boy himself, packing the foul play. I wonder if he was going for maybe the Landorus for damage? I don't necessarily know, but Aromatisse is going to come out. Knock him out with a Moonblast here, as Aromatisse is going to quickly switch back out, fearing that Lurantis. I don't know what the motive was. Maybe Aggron just to take the hits better. Heavy Slam just going to decimate this Lurantis. Now we do see the Bad Boys in a very bad spot with only Sableye and Conkeldurr left, as Manbender still has a fairly healthy team. Drain Punch coming out. Gonna do a decent chunk to Landorus, but Landorus is a bulky bird somehow with the ground type. I don't know what you want to call him. But it is gonna knock out a Supersonic Sky Strike coming out. knocking out Conkeldurr in one shot. Earthquake is going to clean for Landorus. There's a Dazzling Gleam, not going to be able to finish it as the Manvinders and the London Lucarios come out of this match with a 5-0 win against the Bad Boys himself. Good games. GG's to both coaches. As we're going to move on to the next match of the week, which was Kingdra Plays Games and the Kansas City Kingdras versus Aaron, the only coach, I believe, in this instance that is 2-0. Yes, it was the they're both 2-0 going into this match. So someone's gonna have a win, and someone's gonna have a loss. So we're gonna see how this plays out. We see a fierce squad coming out from both teams. A lot of pivoting momentum from Kingdra, of course, as we've seen him rocket in the past few weeks, and Aaron with that solid Florges, Celesteela, Kieran Black core with the Galvantula probably packing sticky webs, but I don't want to speak for Aaron himself. Let's just get right into it and see how it unfolds. We see Gribbet the Seismitoad come out as Mienshao is going to come out as a fast lead. The fake out not really going to do much to Gribbet as we do see the Life Orb. We do see the Life Orb recoil on the Mienshao. So knockoff going to get rid of the leftovers on the Seismitoad here. As he's just going to go for a Skull, try and fish for that burn. 30% will he get it? He does not get it, so he's going to switch out into Florges, probably to take the high jump kick. Doesn't take it as well as he probably would have liked, but 60%, and we do see the leftovers on Florges as well. So he's going to get some reliable recovery here as the Protect fails. Switches out into Sylveon, and we see both fairies, both Wish Passers, and there it is. We see the Wish coming out from both. It's actually an incredible matchup here as the Moonblast is going to come out. Fairy versus Fairy. The slow Baton Pass for Sylveon going right out into Mienshao, knowing that it can heal it all the way up with the Regenerator and the Wish coming through. So we see the Fake Out. And is the Mienshao packing the Poison Jab? And will the Poison Jab be enough to kill the Florges? That is the question. Or is he just going to switch back out? Oh, there's a U-turn. Okay, so he just wants to pivot out. He does not want to take a Moonblast from this Florges, that's for sure. As we see the Rotom Frost come out to take it. Exactly 50%, so we know it could potentially be a 2-hit KO if that was a good roll or not. We don't know. As the Trick comes out, throwing the Scarf on Florges, essentially crippling it as a solid Wish Passer, and preventing it from having reliable recovery for the most part. We see Seismitoad switch back out as it does not want to take a Hurricane from this big bird coming through Junior. He's just going to U-turn out. Thought he could probably knock out the Gribbet. So Gribbet's just getting those rocks. He wants to stop this momentum that Mienshao and, Big Bird Regenerator have. We see Galvantula going to go for a very, very mean Volt Switch. That did a lot of damage to a Mega Gyarados there as it decides to Dragon Dance up. The Crunch is going to come out. He sacks off Seismitoad. Good plays so far on both ends. He's going to get rid of those stat boosts as he knows that Galvantula will be able to knock him out as he predicts the switch and goes for Energy Ball. That was a good play, knowing that Donphan might try and come in to take the tank the electric hit. He goes for the double and a Celesteela, knowing that big bulky bird Tornadus is coming out. The knockoff is going to try and get rid of the item for the Celesteela, but he knows that he has a Z move. He goes for the setup with the Autotomize. Doesn't kill. Heat Wave also doesn't kill, as Celesteela is a very, very bulky Mon, and he's going for the sweep right here with Celesteela. Heavy Slam comes out. We'll be able to knock out that Donphan, and we see the Attack Raise coming out. So we know this is a fully offensive Celesteela, and he's not here to play games. Packing the C-Bomb as well. He had the coverage for every Mon. He's gonna start to steamroll here, and we know this is in Scarf Mienshao, so Celesteela is gonna be faster. Fake Out trying to get some residual damage on this Celesteela, but will he be able to stop the sweep coming in from Aaron? As he's gonna sack off, Big Bird Tornadus here. Tornadus goes down. He's gonna get another attack raise for Celesteela, probably back into Mienshao for another Fake Out. Just getting as much residual damage as he possibly can. but will it be enough? We know that Manshao won't be able to take the heavy slam, and that is going to be a clean sweep for Aaron. Not a complete clean sweep, as it was a 5-0. However, Celesteela picking up a solid 5 kills. I believe it was 5 kills. Yes, something close to that. It was a fantastic game. Again, there was a lot of momentum on Kingdra's part, but Autotomi Celesteela just showing how fierce it can be in the Counter League format. Now, without further ado, we're going to jump right into the 3DS match, and we'll focus and hone in on the very last match of Week 3, as well as the weekly standings coming in at the end of the video. Alright, now jumping into this battle video, we have Shepherdie Ding Dang, coach of the Seattle Seadras, versus Ash, who is Ash versus Red in the Cincinnati Sacreds, who is now taking over the spot for, who has now been taken over by Coach Jordan. You know, it was unfortunate that the Cincinnati Sacreds had a series of weeks where they weren't responding, so we had to find a replacement coach for his team. However, Jordan was willing to step up to the task, take the team. He's going to be making up some of the battles that, you know, Ash versus Red had missed. So this is going to be Jordan for now on, playing for the Cincinnati Sacreds. And if you guys didn't know, in previous leagues, Shepherdie and Jordan, you know, they've played each other numerous times, so you know they're no strangers to each other, to say the least. I say without further ado, let's jump into this video, and we're going to see what the leads are coming out of both teams. I didn't really mention, you know, the team previews, but you know there was enough time. I'm sure you guys saw it as the Tornadus, Tornadus Incarnate, the Prankster variant, comes out. There's Jack of Clubs. Is going to see that the Tornadus is actually rocking the Assault Vest, so it might be a bulkier set. Good lead for Jordan on his end. Going to force Shepherdie to switch out into the T-Tar. McConaughey is going to set up the stand stream, as Tornadus is just going to go straight for the crunch. Shepherdie was probably predicting the, you know, flying move, but the dark move works as well. So U-turn is going to come out. It's going to do a decent chunk to the T-Tar, but as you can see, T-Tar is just naturally so bulky, it tanked the hit. As Zygarde is going to come out now. We're going to see what Shepherdie wants to do this Zygarde. He's just going to set up Stealth Rocks of his own. Figures this is the time to do it. I'm going to lay down the law, set up my hazards, try and go from there. Maybe weaken this Tornadus on the switch in. Goes out to the Jack of Clubs. Going to be probably his reliable switch in, as we do see the Frisk coming out the Chesto Resto Berry. So Zygarde is going to be a setup variant from what it looks like, or really just doesn't want to get toxic either way. One or the other. This Jack of Clubs tanks the Earthquake like a champ. Zygarde, knowing he can't really touch this Jack of Clubs, switches out. Goes out to Weezing. Weezing, reliable response. It's going to go for the sub on Shepherdie's side. Substitute coming through. Making sure they can't get toxic by this Weezing. And those leftovers are just going to keep re-racking health. I'm going to see what's going to happen. Weezing's going to try and trap. However, I believe due to the substitute, the Jack-o'-lanterns is free to switch out. Sub takes the damage, so interesting little Weezing set here. We're going to see the Leech Seed come out, giving more reliable recovery to this, you know, Gourgeist. Gourgeist is just one of those Pokemon that, you know, in Draft League format, people don't use well, but under the right hands and given the opportunity, I mean, there's a Leech Seed setup. It's getting, you know, health left and right. Weezing, just gonna hit it with another infestation. I'm wondering if it's not packing any poison moves, which is gonna be kind of interesting if that's the case. Willis comes out. He does connect, so Weezing's burned. It's gonna do not as much damage with those infestations, as it would have liked, but they're both walls just sitting in here. Sand's going to be running out here soon. We see the events of healing left and right after each turn. Umbreon's going to come out now, trying to scare out this Gourgeist, as Sean predicting that the Sludge Bomb is going to come out, or some type of move that would break the sub were to come out. So more bulk for the Umbreon. So we've seen every item on Jordan's side of the field, Cincinnati Sacreds, as the Dark Pulse is going to come out. Now that's going to break the sub. See, super effective. Yep, the sub phase for Gourgeist. And Gourgeist is going to set up another Leech Seed. It thinks it can stay in, thinks it can take the hits, or maybe it wants the Leech Seed for something like a T-Tar to switch into. Who knows? The Umbreon leftovers really, supplying itself some good health. Umbreon's the only evolution that can reliably heal itself without Wish. It gets Moonlight. Pretty interesting thing to note. So he's going to withdraw the Jack-o'-lanterns, goes out into McConaughey, so he does want the Leech Seed recovery for McConaughey, as he's going to reset up the Sandstream. Knows that Sand's a viable option and that it dwindles most of Jordan's team, as a Toxic's going to come out from Umbreon. It's a very, very bold move on Jordan's side of the field, but it does work out well, as T-Tar probably didn't want to be Toxic. We haven't seen an item from T-Tar either. Only thing we know is that it does have Stealth Rocks. But that Leech Seed recovery, it's gonna help him live just a little bit longer than it probably should. Tapu Koko finally come out, bringing out the big guns on Jordan's side of the field. See the Electric Surge set up. A lot of things happening right now. We have the Sand, we have the Electric Surge. Is that a Taunt? Alright. So we see Taunt on McConaughey, T-Tar. Probably ensuring that it can't Nature's Madness, or maybe making sure that Umbreon couldn't heal itself. But we just see the Dazzling Gleam's going to straight up knock out that T-Tar, even with a special defense boost with the Sand. It's incredible what Tapu Koko can do. We see that it's shiny Tapu Koko, so it does have to be timid. That is something to note here. It is timid Koko. Sand Slash is going to come out, seeing if it can abuse the Sand here as it goes for the Swords Dance. So it is going to be a Sand Rush Swords Dance set for Sand Slash. Sand is up. Wheezing. Levitating, so not going to be taking the ground moves, but we do see the Rock Slide, and that with the Swords Dance is going to be able to knock it out. So offensive Sand Slash looks like it's about to put in the work here, knocking out the Wheezing. Metagross is going to come in. Shiny Metagross. Looks amazing as always, but I don't think it's going to want to take an Earthquake from a Sand Slash if that is one of its moves. We see the knockoff instead, just straight up wanting to get rid of an item. We know it's super effective. We get the crit. I don't know if the crit mattered or not, but it is going to knock out the Metagross. So Sand Slash, there's the E-Belt. E-Belt gets knocked off. Now, I wasn't counting turns of Sand, but I believe it had to have been Smooth Rock, because the Sand's been here for quite some time. Umbreon is going to come out. Earthquake's going to come out. Umbreon is very, very bulky, but will it be able to eat this Earthquake? It's not going to be able to, so we see Sand Slash picking up 3 kills, going for the sweep here. As the Stand still rages on, Zygarde going to come out. Probably the only one that can take a hit from this Sand Slash. We're going to see if that's the case, really. Oh, but Shempity is going to come out with the Groundium Z. So Z Earthquake coming out from Sand Slash. That was the item there. That was the item there. No E-Belt. And will this be able to knock out the Zygarde? I do believe it will be, but just sitting here in anticipation. And yep, we see it. Instantly drop down to 0. Zygarde faints. The Sand's finally gone. I believe Tapu Koko is the only one left on Jordan's side of the field, if I was counting everything correctly. Electric Surge is going to come out. So Sandslash no longer the fastest thing on the field. However, I don't think Tapu Koko is going to be able to knock it out. Oh, we do see the Grass Knot coming through, though. Is that going to knock out the Sandslash? Oh, Sandslash living the Grass Knot like a champ. As the Rock Slide is going to come out. Knock out the Tapu Koko. And that's kill number 4 coming in for Sandslash. As Tornadus is going to come out. It's going to take that Stealth Rocks. And we know Tornadus is going to hit it with the Existentiary. So Sandslash goes down. Sandslash finally goes down after its run of 4 kills. Right at the end as Frosty's going to come out. And it's not going to be able to live a hit from a Mega Glalie, that's for sure. Unless there's some extra trick with the Prankster. There's a Frustration coming through, he is faster, and that's just going to straight up knock out the Tornadus. Good game by both coaches. Shempy pulling out a nice 4-0. Pulling out a nice 4-0 against Jordan. And now that we've previewed all of the games, let's look at the weekly statistics for week 3. As now there is an error. The Kansas City Kings, just for some reason, the documents were a little screwed up. He did end up losing his week 3 matchup, so it was a 2-1 loss. So that would be his record for now. However, Roman Polions being the only coach undefeated as of now, with a +7 differential. You see the playoff seedings over there to the right, or on the middle of the stream. Roman Polions, we're still hanging up there in 2nd place, and so on and so forth. Celesteela with 3 sweeps now in the league, 13-0 in the league. It's undefeated so far. As the rest of the race for number 1 seems like it's falling behind. Very, very close, as you can tell. Most of them, are on the cusp of just being the number 2 spot, but it's going to take a while for things to catch up to Celesteela if it doesn't decide to not quit sweeping at the end. And transactions, I might as well start talking about transactions per week. I decided to drop Chansey for Savali, and that would be effective week 4. I figured that Savali was... Oh, I'm sorry, that was last week. I don't know why I didn't cover that last week. It's my bad. Savali was effective this week. And as you saw, it came and it put in the work. Ignore everything I just said that last minute. I hope you guys had a fantastic, Sunday watching this. But if you're not watching on a Sunday, then, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll catch you guys in the next video.